Would you
Out there?
Yes, clear. Loud and clear.
Pacific. 4423 live. We'll get them all station.
On the intercom. C7?
Yes, ma'am. We'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4 E. Edward, and so we both be official.
I don't know how to describe it. I've spent my entire career studying structures, understanding how buildings respond to forces, how concrete cracks, how steel bends, how foundations shift. I know the physics. I know the mathematics. I know exactly what happens when a structure takes catastrophic damage. But knowing it and experiencing it are different things. The first impact wasn't what I expected. There was no explosion, no sound, not at first. What came first was the pressure, a wave of force that pushed through the building, through the concrete, through the earth itself. I felt it in my chest before I heard anything, like someone had reached inside me and squeezed. The floor bucked, not violently, almost gently, like the earth was shrugging. Then the sound came. It wasn't an explosion. It was bigger than that. Deeper. It was every explosion that ever happened, all at once, compressed into a single moment that lasted forever. The bass note of it hit first. So low I felt it in my bones, in my teeth, in the base of my skull. Then came the higher frequencies, the crack of concrete, the scream of metal, the roar of compressed air, and then came the shock wave. The building moved, the whole building, 12 stories of concrete and steel, shifting on its foundation like a ship in a storm. The lights went out. In the darkness, I could hear people screaming. Or maybe I was screaming. I couldn't tell. The sound was everywhere. Something hit me. Debris. A piece of ceiling. I don't know. I was on the floor, my arms over my head, and something heavy struck my shoulder. The building was still moving, swaying. I could feel it through the concrete, could hear the structural elements groaning, steel beams bending, concrete fracturing. This is what failure sounds like, I thought. This is what it sounds like when a building dies. I'm going to die here. We're all going to die here. The building is going to collapse and we're going to be buried under 12 stories of rubble and nobody will ever find us. But the building didn't collapse. It held. The swaying continued for what felt like hours, but was probably only seconds. Then it began to slow. The groaning of the structure faded. The debris stopped falling. And then there was silence. Not real silence. My ears were ringing. A high-pitched whine that wouldn't stop. But compared to what had just happened, it felt like silence. I tried to breathe. My lungs wouldn't work properly. The air was thick with dust. Concrete dust. Drywall. I was coughing. Everyone was coughing. Someone's phone flashlight came on. Then another. Weak beams of light cutting through the darkness and dust. I could see shapes. People on the floor. Some moving. Some not. Patricia's voice cut through the chaos. Sound off. Everyone who can hear me, say your name. People started responding. Voices in the dark. Some strong. Some weak. Some crying. Jennifer. Tom. Marcus. Sarah. I realized I needed to respond too. David, I said. My voice sounded strange, muffled, like I was underwater. Patricia was moving through the group with her phone light, checking on people. The count came back. 43. We started with 47. 4 people weren't responding. I could see Patricia moving toward the far corner where the ceiling had partially collapsed. Her light illuminated something I didn't want to see. Bodies, pinned under concrete. She checked for pulses, shook her head. 4 people. 4 lives. Gone in an instant. I didn't know their names. Never got the chance to ask. Someone was crying. A man's voice. Deep, broken sobs. Tom, I think. He was holding his phone, staring at the screen. No signal. The call to his wife had been cut off. How long? Someone asked. How long were we out? I checked my phone. The screen was cracked but still working. 3:51 p.m. 3 minutes. The impact had been 3 minutes ago. It felt like a lifetime. Patricia was organizing people, checking for injuries. We had cuts, bruises. One man had a broken arm. Another had a gash on his head that was bleeding badly. Jennifer was limping, but we were alive. 43 of us were still alive. What about the others? Someone asked. The other buildings? The rest of the city? Patricia shook her head. We don't know. Communications are down. Power's out. We need to focus on us first. Make sure we're stable. As if in response to her words, the building groaned. A deep structural sound that made everyone freeze. Is it going to collapse? Someone asked. Everyone looked at me. I'm the civil engineer. I'm supposed to know. I looked up at the ceiling, the overhead concrete. Most of it was intact. Some cracks. One section had failed, the section that had killed 4 people. But the main structure seemed sound. I don't think so, I said. Not immediately, but I can't be sure without a proper inspection. What does that mean? Jennifer asked. I chose my words carefully. It means we're probably safe for now. But if there are more impacts, more shock waves, the damage could accumulate. Buildings don't usually fail from a single event. They fail from repeated stress, as if the universe was listening. The second impact hit. This one was different, more distant. The shock wave was weaker, but the sound was clearer. A thunderclap that rolled through the earth like a wave. The building shuddered but didn't sway like before. That was further away, Patricia said. Maybe a mile or 2. Then came the third impact. Closer than the second, but not as close as the first. Then the fourth. They kept coming, one after another, sometimes in quick succession, sometimes with gaps of silence in between. I lost count after 12. Each impact made the building shake, made dust fall from the ceiling, made everyone flinch and cover their heads. But the building held. Someone turned on the TV. Miraculously, it still worked. Must have been on backup power. But there was no broadcast. Just static. Every channel. Just white noise and snow. Try the radio, Patricia said. Someone had a battery-powered radio. They turned it on and scanned through the frequencies. Static, static, static. Then a voice, broken, fading in and out. Multiple impacts confirmed. Downtown Chicago. Infrastructure compromised. Emergency services unable to respond. If you can hear this, stay sheltered. Do not, repeat, do not attempt to leave. Fallout. The word fallout made everyone freeze. "Nuclear?" someone whispered. The radio signal faded back to static. Patricia tried to find the station again, but couldn't. Whatever broadcast we'd heard was gone. "We don't know if it was nuclear," Patricia said. "Could have been conventional warheads. Could have been anything." But nobody believed her. We'd all heard that word. Fallout. I checked my phone again. 4:17 p.m. 29 minutes since the first impact. Half an hour ago, I was in a conference room reviewing blueprints. Half an hour ago, the world was normal. Now I'm in a basement with 42 other people, covered in dust and blood, listening to the city above us being destroyed. Tom was trying his phone again. Still no signal. He wasn't the only one. Everyone was checking their phones, trying to call out, trying to reach someone. Nothing. The network was completely down. "We need to think about supplies," Patricia said. "Water, food, medical supplies. If we're going to be down here for a while, we need to know what we have." "How long is a while?" Jennifer asked. Patricia was quiet for a moment. "I don't know, days maybe. Depends on what's happened up there. Depends on whether it's safe to go up." "Fallout," the man with the broken arm said. "If it's nuclear, we can't go up. Not for weeks, maybe months." The reality of that settled over the group like a weight. We might be trapped down here for weeks, with limited supplies, limited space. 43 people in a basement designed to hold machinery, not humans. "Let's inventory what we have," Patricia said. "Everyone check your bags, your pockets. Food, water, medicine, anything useful." People started going through their things, office lunches, water bottles, protein bars, aspirin, Band-Aids. It wasn't much. I had half a sandwich in my bag. Turkey and cheese. I'd been saving it for later. Later felt like another lifetime ago. The total inventory wasn't good. Maybe 2 days of food if we rationed carefully. 3 days of water. Some basic medical supplies. That was it. "There might be more supplies upstairs," someone suggested. "Break rooms, vending machines." "Too risky," Patricia said. "We don't know the structural integrity of the upper floors. And we don't know if there's fallout. So we just sit here and starve," Tom said. His voice was rising, the stress breaking through. "We sit here and wait," Patricia said firmly. "We wait until we have more information, until we know it's safe. Then we make decisions." But I could see it in everyone's eyes. The same question I was thinking. What if it's never safe? What if the world up there is gone? Another impact. This one made the lights flicker. We'd been running on emergency power, but even that was failing. Someone's phone rang. The sound was so unexpected, so out of place that everyone jumped. It was Jennifer. She grabbed her phone with shaking hands. "Hello? Hello?" We could hear a voice on the other end. Faint. Broken. "Mommy?" Jennifer's face crumpled. "Baby!" "Oh my God, baby, are you okay?" She was walking away, trying to find a corner with better signal, but the call was already breaking up. "Sweetie, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Baby?" The call dropped. Jennifer stood there, staring at her phone, willing it to ring again. It didn't. She slid down the wall and curled up, sobbing. The brief connection to her daughter, those few seconds, had somehow made everything worse. I looked around at the group, at the faces lit by phone screens and emergency lights. Everyone was thinking the same thing Jennifer was. Wondering about the people they loved. Wondering if they were alive or dead. Wondering if they'd ever see them again. My phone showed 4:42 p.m. 54 minutes since the first impact. The sounds from above had changed. The impacts had stopped. Now there were other noises, distant rumbling. What might have been collapsing buildings. What might have been fire. And something else. A sound I couldn't identify at first. High-pitched, mechanical, like wind, but not wind. "Do you hear that?" I asked. Others nodded. Everyone was listening now. The sound was getting louder, coming closer. Patricia moved to the stairwell that led up to B2. She shone her light up the stairs. Smoke. Thick black smoke was pouring down the stairwell. "Fire," she said. "There's fire above us." Someone started panicking. "We're trapped. We're going to suffocate down here. We need to get out." Patricia blocked the stairs. "No, we seal this level. Use whatever we can find. Wet cloth under the door." We create a barrier. People moved quickly, tearing strips of cloth from shirts, soaking them with the precious water we'd inventoried, stuffing them around the doorframe. The smoke was getting thicker. I could taste it. Chemical. Burning plastic and rubber and God knows what else. My engineering brain was calculating, analyzing. This basement had ventilation shafts, air circulation. But if those shafts were compromised, if smoke was coming through the entire system, we'd be breathing poison within hours. We needed to close the vents. I told Patricia. She nodded. We found the main ventilation controls, shut them down. Now we were sealed in, airtight, safe from smoke. But with 43 people breathing in an enclosed space, we had maybe 6 hours of air, maybe less. 6 hours to figure out what to do next. 6 hours before we'd have to make a choice. Stay and suffocate, or go up into whatever hell waited above. I didn't tell the others about the 6-hour timeline. Patricia knew. I could see it in her eyes. But neither of us said anything. Sometimes ignorance is mercy. The smoke stopped coming through the stairwell. Whatever was burning above us had either burned out or moved to a different part of the building. We sat in the sealed basement. 43 survivors. 4 dead bodies in the corner that we couldn't move. No communication with the outside world. Limited supplies. Limited air. This is survival, I thought. This is what it looks like when civilization ends. Not dramatic, not heroic. Just people in a basement, waiting to see if they'll live or die. My phone showed 5:23 p.m. 2 hours and 5 minutes since the first alert. 2 hours since the world changed forever. I'm still recording this. I don't know why. Habit, maybe. Or hope that someone will care what happened down here. The others are quiet now. Some are sleeping. Some are staring at nothing. Tom hasn't moved in 20 minutes. Just sitting against the wall, holding his phone. Jennifer is curled up near the bodies. Mourning people she didn't know. Mourning her daughter she can't reach. Patricia is by the door, listening. Always listening. And I'm here, talking into my phone, documenting the end of Chicago, documenting the end of everything. But here's the thing. Here's what I keep coming back to. We're still alive. Against everything, against all probability, we're still alive. The building held. The basement protected us. We made it through the initial attack, which means maybe others did too. Maybe there are other basements, other shelters, other groups of people huddled in the dark, wondering if they're the last ones left. Maybe the world isn't over. Maybe it's just changed. Maybe we can survive this. Or maybe I'm just telling myself that because the alternative is too terrible to accept. It's 5:47 p.m. now. The sounds from above have quieted. No more rumbling. No more collapses. Just silence. And that silence is somehow worse than the noise was. Because silence means it's over. The attack is done. Whatever was coming has come. Now we just have to live with what's left.